Okay, Dr. John, I'm just going to make you co-host in case you would like to share your screen or share something. So I will just make you co-host now so you can have the freedom to do that.
The Facebook Live. Can you activate the share button? The Facebook Live. Can you activate the share button? The Facebook Live. Can you activate the share button?
Okay, hi, Mr. Mukura. Dr. Mukura, I can hear you. I'm trying to see how I can make that work. I think there was a reason why the share settings on that group has not been working.
Okay.
Have you tried sharing the link as well, though?
No problem, no problem. That will be fine.
All right, welcome everybody, and thank you for joining me on today's episode of Above Average. If you can hear me loud and clear, please head to the chat. Leave me a hello and where you're joining in from. I can see Prince, I can see Naomi, I can see Olenka, I can see Joy and Haiti. So please, if you can hear me loud and clear, head to the chat and say hi, I can hear you. So I know we are good to go. Welcome everyone. I am on the chats waiting for your response and we can get the show on the road. I'm super, super pumped and excited today because of the amazing guests I have in the house. The amazing guests I have. All right. Hi, Madam Surura. Justina says, hello, I can hear you. Okay, Haiti can hear me. Prince can hear me. Madam Joy, you can hear me. All right. All right. So thank you for joining me today on the Above Average series. It's an ongoing series that Innocent Minds has been organizing where we bring in amazing resource persons to share their journey, their stories and experiences, and also take you on a journey where you can benefit from their experience to build yours. So today on the Above Average series, I have two amazing guests who, first of all, I want to appreciate for taking out your time. Dr. Mukuru, I know how busy you are, but I really want to appreciate you for taking out the time and making this commitment. Welcome back, by the way. I didn't know you were back to Nigeria. Welcome back. It's good to have you. So right ahead, since we don't have much time, The first speaker I would like to introduce today is none other than Dr. John Mokoro. He's an amazing, amazing, amazing entrepreneur, business person. I remember I met him a couple of years ago. It's almost 5 years now, how time flies, when I first came in contact with Dr. Mokoro. And ever since, it's been such a journey of growth, a journey of just amazing things that he's been up to. It's so much. So I'm just going to give him the next 2 minutes to tell us about himself and what he's been up to before we get into the topic of today. So once again, guys, join me in the chats. Let's welcome Dr. Mukoro. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, my name is John Mukoro. Thank you, Sunny, and thank you, Innocent Minds, for this very wonderful opportunity. Quickly to what I do right now. There was a time in my life when I didn't really know who I was. So I was just moving aimlessly, living my life to default. So I got to a point where I began to search for meaning. And at the point of searching for meaning, when we progress into the meeting, when I tell my story, at the point of searching for meaning, that was actually how I got in contact with the host of this program, Innocent Minds. So what I do right now is that I help people find meaning. I help people discover who they are. I help to bring in the very best inside of people. Because at a point, I was also supported to discover who I am. Thank you very much.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. This just got me excited, and I'm looking forward into the conversation for today. The topic Dr. John will be talking about today is job and financial freedom. And trust me, he is the best person to speak on this topic. I have seen the amazing things that he's done. So I'm super excited. We have the next 20 minutes to have a conversation with our guest, and we're really looking forward to it. Dr. John, you can have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much, Sunny. So 20 minutes to just tell you my journey. I will go back to after I left secondary school. I actually wanted, I grew up in Warri. I wanted to school in either Unilag or Uniben. Usually that is what our elder brothers and sisters, that's the school they always look forward to going to. But there's a way jam will jam you. You will know that you will change your ambition of Uniben. So I had the experience, and that was how I found my way to Enugu State University, Enugu. So I gained admission into Enugu. And my first 1 month in the campus, I discovered something. Back then in Warri, when our elder ones go to school, go to the university, when they find out that there was no more money for handouts and things to keep up, they come back home and they tell their parents, I've exhausted my money. And dad will say, okay, hold on. When it's end of month, we'll take money and go back to school. When I got to Enugu, I saw something different. I saw students in my class in year one. They were the ones sending money to their parents. And I was like, wait a minute, what is happening here? What is happening here? What I knew was that people go back home to collect money. But here I observed students sending money to their parents while they were still in school. So I began to observe what could be the reason for this. And I noticed that most of these guys had shops in Ogbete Market. Most of them had keke. I was balancing them. Some had Okada. Some had phone booth stand. And they were making money. Coincidentally, this was the period both parents of mine were working in Delta Steel Company, Owia and Laja, DSC Warri. For those of you that know about that company, at this point, the staffs were no more being paid salaries. Everything was hard. So after I observed that this was what my mates were doing, people I was in school with, after I observed this, I started doing the same thing. I remember I went I was going to Port Harcourt then to bring one bread called this, I think, Whisim bread then. I'll bring it from Port Harcourt to Enugu. I will sell. I will make margin. Then I also went to Aba. I will buy BYC. I will sell. If you are very familiar with Enugu, you will know that there's Esut, there's IMT, there's UNEC. So I had sales girls selling for me in UNEC, IMT, and UNEC. So I was making money. I was making money from the sales of the bread. I was also making money from the sales of BYC. I was making money my second year. I'd already bought a car. I was doing fine. So this business saw me through school. And after, when I went for youth service in Kogi State, I came back to Enugu and I continued the sales of bread, continued the sales of BYC. At this time, I've expanded my sales of bread from even Enugu. I was going to other areas like Oka to sell and make money, plus the BYC. Then my dad of blessed memory, he was worried. He was worried because he saw I was already done with school. I ought to come back to Warri, Delta State. But then I was already doing business. I was okay with staying back in Enugu. So there was this pressure for me to write bank exams and get into banking. So I wrote banking exams, and that was how I found my way into my first bank, Fidelity Bank. So when I got into the bank, there was something I observed. I observed that those people, to start with, when I got into banking, then I was already familiar with Aba, with area market. So I was going to Aba to make suits for my colleagues and with a margin on top. So I got into banking. By this time I was already an Igbo boy. I was already always looking for margins. So I was already really into business. So I had a course of making the suits in Aba. I had a margin I would put on top, and I was making really good money, even as a banker. So I discovered a friend of mine, a senior friend of mine in the bank, came to me one time and said, this guy was senior to me with about 4 years in the industry. And he came and said, you know what, it's not end of month yet, and salaries have not been paid. I should lend him about 30,000 naira. That when it's end of month, he was going to give back the money to me. I began to wonder. I said, if this guy is senior to me with 4 years, and his salary could not take him to the end of month, then what am I doing here? Then he brought a lot of awareness, and I began to know that there was more to banking, was more to coming 8 in the morning and leaving by 6 every day. So I began this hunger in me. I wanted more. So on this particular day in the banking hall, I saw Professor Pat Utomi. Of course, he opened his account in Lagos. He came to Delta to withdraw. Immediately, I ran to him and I told him, sir, I want to be like you. And he looked at me, what do you mean? I said, I want you to be my mentor. I want to be your mentee. Mentor me. I want to be like you. That was how he gave me an appointment to come to his house in Ibuzo. I was there with him for 3 hours on this particular day, and he took me through the process of personal development. And the first book he recommended that I should read was The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Coincidentally, a year before I met Mr. Patu Tommy, my bank, Fidelity Bank Midwest Region, gave me an award as Best Dressed Staff for Midwest Region a year before that time, and they gave me the same book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. But guess what? I never opened that book for a year. So when Pat told me about the book, I quickly went, I read the book, and I discovered that, wow, there is so much more to banking. I needed to know more. I needed to build myself. I now began to discover who I was gradually. Before this time, before I met for Pat to tell me, if you get me to stand in front of two persons to talk, that would be extremely impossible. But after I met him, I began to read books, personal development books, leadership books. Then, for those of you who are familiar with Fidelity Bank, there's this Thursday lecture they hold every Thursday. I began to participate in Thursday lectures, giving lectures. So I continued my personal development journey, and I told myself that by 10 years, I should exit banking. And I began to work towards that. I asked myself, what kind of business can I do that will not affect my banking job? What kind of business can I do that I will still be in the bank, but my core banking job will not be affected? And that was how I got into network marketing. I didn't want any business that will affect my core banking. There's something else I didn't want. I wanted a business that what I put. Then I left Fidelity Bank to another bank, and that was the time I got a school account. That school account gave the branch. Then I was the branch manager for that particular bank. The branch I was taking to, I got a school account, and the branch made so much profit in millions. But guess what? That particular month, I was paid the same salary. So I told myself, you know what? I want to play in an industry where what you put in is what you get. So that confirmed to me that in the network marketing industry, is what you feed in, is what you get. So I told myself, I want to do this banking work for 10 years, and after 10 years, I was going to quit and go fully into the industry of network marketing. So after 10 years, 2017, I quit banking, I left Asaba, and I moved to Lagos with my family. I was doing well in network marketing. So something happened. The particular company I got involved with, some things went wrong. I had resigned from the bank at this time. I was doing well, but some things went wrong. The company crashed. I crashed myself. And for like a year, I crashed. I hit the rock bottom. At this time, I've left banking. I was no more working. And here I was, like I was in the valley. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. I began to search for answers. I began to ask very deep, serious questions. Why did I quit banking? How come I left everything, and how come this is happening? I began to ask very serious. I was in search of answers. That was when I discovered neuro-linguistic programming. That was how I discovered Innocent Minds, the host of this program today. I went through the training, and the training helped me discover who I am currently today. So I found out that there are a lot of people. For example, you ask a man, "Who are you?" and he tells you, "I am a banker." You ask him again, "Who are you?" He tells you, "I'm a banker." You ask him 5, 6, 10, 11, 15 times, and the only thing he can tell you about himself is that he's a banker. The only thing he knows about himself, the only thing that gives him his self-worth, self-esteem, is what he does for a living. That was the point I was in my life. This happens to a lot of people, so that when they lose that job, everything comes crashing, because that is the only lovely thing they know about themselves. But NLP helped me discover who I am, and it gave me a new meaning to life. Then I also realized, and I began to know the reason why I crashed, why I failed. I discovered that you cannot really master money in its presence. You can't master money in its presence. So there was a time in my life I was involved in business, money was coming, but I didn't have the capacity to hold that money together and manage it. Because there's making of money, managing of money, and multiplying of money, the 3M of money. It's not just about making money. So this time, Innocent Minds opened my mind to this deep answer. I now knew the gap I had in my life, and I knew how to fix it. After undergoing NLP, I also did emotional intelligence certification with Emotion City, Ikoyi, Lagos. I went to Lagos Business School. I did about 3 business courses there. I became loaded mentally and ready for my next level. I knew that if you are not solid on your inside, anything can push you to the ground. When pressure, when pressure, when you apply pressure to something, the content will come out. So how much you are on your inside has a lot to do with your next level. So Innocent Minds opened me up to discovering who I am. And when 2 years ago, I delved into the network marketing industry again. And this time around, I got into a company called Emery Nation Global. I got in fully as somebody who already knew what to do from day one, because I had learned this in life. You must put yourself to learning. I tell people that when you learn, as you learn in the industry where I play, you must put yourself to learning. And as you learn, as the journey progresses, the L in the learning begin to disappear. And when the L disappears, it begins to experience earnings. So I learned and I started the journey again. And in just 2 years, a lot of people that I have brought into this company, into this team, into my organization, I've been able to build a solid team in just 2 years of over 10,000 persons who are happy, who are excited, with so much momentum, making money, learning, and are happy. So the bottom line of this whole thing is that you have to give yourself chance to learn. There is so much you can do as a person, but you must build content. You must build content. You must know. If you don't know, you become shallow. So learning has taken me to where I am today. And like I always say, I am always learning. I always empty my cup at every opportunity I find, because a cup that is filled up already, when a cup is filled up already, nothing new can be added again. So at every opportunity I find, I always empty my cup to be refilled. That is the best way to live life. Because when you live life and you get to a level where you feel that you've known it all, what actually happens is that you begin to decline. So I am a continuous learner. I'm always learning. And finally, another thing that I learned that has given me so much peace, and even in my business life and in my relationship with people, is being genuinely interested in people. Being genuinely interested in people. I learned that you have to be genuinely interested, because people don't really care how much you know or how much you have until they know how much you care. I learned from Innocent Mind that in relating with people and is established. And whenever anything can happen, even in relationship and other. So this has been my journey so far. So do I still have time?
Yes, I am here. I am here. I can see you already have someone raising up their hands. We have comments in the section. So it's been really, really amazing to have you share your journey concisely with us in this short period of time you've had. And I, for one, have picked up a couple of things, which I shared in the chat. However, if you're here and you have a question, please, you want to raise your hand or you want to type your question. Joy Ayima says, pressure brings out the stuff. Sorry, my video is off. The light just went off. The gen will be on in a moment and I will be back. My apologies for that. So, okay, the light's here. All right, Joy says, pressure brings out the stuff that you are made out of. So build content so that you have something tangible to give out when there is pressure. Learn, unlearn, relearn, and remain an empty cup to maximize your opportunities in life. This is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's what Joy picked. Faith picked the 3 M's of money. I think if you can remind us what those 3 M's are for the sake of those who are just joining, the 3 M's of money.
I said making money, managing money, and multiplying money.
All right.
And I said you cannot master money in its presence.
Yeah.
You cannot master money in its presence. That is why when somebody who knows nothing and you have 500 million lands on your lap, 500 million lands on your lap, you cannot master that money in its presence.
That's true.
You ought to have learned, you ought to have gained knowledge before that money comes to you. Once that money hits you, maybe you play a game and you play pool and money lands on your lap. You cannot master money in its presence. It's all a matter of time. That whole money will go away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cannot master money in its presence. That's why you need to build capacity
before the money comes.
Before the money comes. So that when the money comes, you know exactly what to do. Because the fact is this: when you have money and you don't know what to do with it, because you lack capacity, if you talk to 1,000 persons about that your money, because it is not their money, all the 1,000 of them have something to tell you that you can do with money.
So true.
So the 3 M of money is making money, managing money, and multiplying money.
Thank you for clarifying that. Woodwork says knowledge and its application would always pave way for success. Most importantly, seek knowledge. I think what you have shared with us today, I have known you at least for a couple of years now, and I can say that you're an epitome of what you shared. Dr. John is often learning. If he's not in Lagos Business School, he's at Innocent Minds. If he's not at Innocent Minds, he's at Emotion City. If he's not at Emotion City, he's basically going on a journey to learn consistently. And I think something else that has stood out for me about Dr. John is the fact that everywhere he goes, he strives to share the knowledge that he has. Personally, in my library, I think I have up to 4 books that were signed and given to me by you in my personal library. And usually you wouldn't just give me, you would give 20 other people that were with me in that class, or 30 other people. No matter the number of people, everyone got a book. All right. So it's that for me, the fact that you know something and you want those around you to know it so that they can grow as well. That for me has been really amazing in getting to know you. So well done. And thank you so much, Dr. John. In a moment, if you don't mind, would you be able to stay to the end so that I can take questions for you and the second speaker towards the end of the session? Is that okay?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. All right. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Joy Ayima says you can't master money in its presence. Yes, you must have built capacity before money comes, so you know where to channel the money. That is true. Judith says In learning, when you keep at it, the L in learning begins to disappear and you experience earning. Yes, this is something I learned years ago and it works. It works like magic. Knowledge in itself is not power. Applied knowledge is power. Applied knowledge is power. You can go to as many classes, as many schools as he did. If you don't apply the knowledge, you would make no difference for yourself. All right, so quickly, I want to introduce our second guest. If you have questions, remember, leave it in the chat session. I will take it towards the end. I would take questions for both speakers at the same time. So please leave your comments, leave your questions in the chat. If you have questions for Dr. John, leave it in the chat session and we would answer it at the end. The next guest I have the honor of introducing this evening. Ma'am, if you're here, please unmute yourself so that I can bring you on. The next person I have an opportunity to welcome today is none other than the family systems engineer, Dr. Surura. She is an amazing person I met 6 years ago when I came in for a training in Abuja. And I have watched consistently her journey, the amazing things she does with teens, with parenting. It's just outstanding. It's mind-blowing. And today she's here to share with us about building and managing relationships that last. All right, in a moment, if you're here, Madam, kindly unmute yourself and say hello. I'm trying to go through the participants to find you. I saw you here earlier. Madam Surura.
Hi, Suni. Hello, everyone.
Okay. Hi, good evening. Your voice is quite low.
Okay. Is it louder now?
Okay, it's louder now. I'm trying to bring you on. Where are you? Where are you? Madam Surura. Oh no. Okay, all right. I found you. Okay, so today, join me to welcome the one and only Madam Surura to the house. She is here to share with us on building and managing relationships that last, all right? I said she's a family systems engineer, and in a moment, she would take 2 minutes to tell us about what she's doing, what she's been up to, and quickly what she wants us to know about herself before she jumps into her topic for the next 20 minutes. Welcome, ma'am. It's really good to have you. It's really good to see you again. It's been long.
The feeling is mutual. Hello, everyone, and really nice to be on this platform to be sharing with you tonight. My name is Suru Olainka Ogufemi, and basically what I do is to help parents see what else to do in those typical and daily family experiences that often lead to stress, frustration, worry, anxiety, by providing them with alternative practices to enrich the family life. Okay, somebody is saying my
Says
voice.
volume, please. Yes. Your
Okay,
sound is quite low. Can you, I don't know.
maybe I should use let me get
An
earpiece.
earpiece, yes. I was thinking that may help. That
Okay,
may help.
so in a moment. Oh, this is not my
All
volume.
right. Amina says volume, please. Tutu says I can't hear. Jemima says I can't hear. Just a moment. Just a moment.
Ah. So hello, is it better?
All right. I think this is better.
This is
Let me
better.
know in the comment section if this is better, guys.
Hello. Can you hear me? Am I louder?
Yes, I can hear you a little louder. So if
All
you
right.
can hear her, let us know in the chat session. All right. All right. Tutu says better. Okay.
Welcome again. And like I said, my name is Suru Olainka Ogunfemi. I'm a family life engineer, and basically what I do is to help parents see what else to do in those typically daily family life experiences that usually bring frustration, anxiety, and worry to parents, by providing them with alternative practices to enrich their family life and lead them to transform the family and raise children in that connected and cooperative family life that they desire. So basically, that's what I do in a nutshell. And I have courses, and I also have a book I've authored, which are ready manuscripts that parents can use to to have a glimpse into the kind of work I do. So this evening, I'm here to talk about how we can build lifetime relationships with our family. And I like to use the analogy of a plant. And even in elementary school science, we all know that there are some conditions with which when a plant is exposed to, help the plant to thrive better. And these are basically, I don't know if anyone can remind me from elementary school science, what are those things that plants actually need to thrive and give us the best results? Anyone? Yes. Water, great. Yep. Sunlight, good. Okay, can we see the speaker? You can't see me. Is my video off?
Your video is actually on. I can see you, so I am not sure.
Okay.
Judith.
We have, good soil. We have air. We have water. We have sunlight. And you can imagine if you have a plant that is thriving, um, if you have a plant that is thriving and you decide to take that plant and put it perhaps in your living room or in your bedroom or under your bed or in your bathroom or somewhere so that you can, for whatever reason, what do you think will happen to that plant? Naturally, okay, naturally, what will happen is that that plant may begin to wither and die. And this, unfortunately, is what happened to some of our children and our relationship with them when we don't take note to give them the necessary conditions with which they can thrive and be better at their own selves and truly live in fully expressing who they were actually here to be. And most of the time, we shatter this relationship through our nagging, our yelling, beating the living daylight out of our children, being overly protective and controlling, and sometimes even using blame, shame, guilt, and other forms of punishment to deal with misbehavior of children. Because the reality is that children have actually not been here as much as we have been here, and they will actually misbehave. So when we don't know what else to do, we may unknowingly be dampening the spirit and in the process be be causing a kind of misalignment in our relationship with them. The reality, however, is that there are hundreds of opportunities each day to build a lifetime relationship with our children rather than dampen it. And my role this evening is to help us, figure out some of the ways we can do this in our day-to-day relationship and interaction with our children. First, um, let's think about our children really. What do you think a child really wants? And I'd like some comments in the chat boxes. You can easily take a journey back to your own time when you were a child. What were the basic things you wanted? What are the things you wish you had? What do you think will have improved your relationship between you and your parents? And because the reality is that in my little practice, I've come up around children or adults now who say that they wish they enjoyed better relationship with the parents and even their siblings. They wish that they were closer to them. They wish that they can actually prioritize them and have a better bond with them. So I can see somebody said, let me quickly get into the comment box and see what I have there. Okay, somebody said, I wish my dad corrected me with love. Yes. So basically, children want to declare their independence. They want to declare the sense of self. They want to feel close and connected to us. And they want to feel a sense of control over what happens to them. And this is so for any child, whether the child is 2 or 16. And it easily comes to bear. For example, if you have a toddler and you're making maybe like a 3-month-old, let me even say an infant, like a 3-month-old baby, and you're trying to hold the child, like carry the child like in your arms, the child may actually be resisting and want to actually sit up and tell you that, hey, I'm no more that 2-month-old baby. Now my ability has increased and all of those things. So basically, children, they want to experience their autonomy. They don't want us controlling them and being overly protective. Unfortunately, when we argue over small issues, when we overprotect them and control them, it's marred relationship between us and them. So what are the ways we can actually begin to nurture that relationship so that it's not only when they're little we can easily bully them to comply. When they even get older, we can matter, and that relationship can actually be for a lifetime. And there are a few things I want us to discuss. And the top of it is to honor your child's uniqueness. You know, honor your child's uniqueness. The truth is that many times as parents, we spend loads of time to mold the children to be different from who they are rather than honoring who they are. We forget, we think of these children as like mini creatures of, but the truth is that they are whole beings in their own rights. And each child is different, and together they give us like a beautiful garden. So when we begin to see them as okay, they have to fit into a certain mold or a particular way, then we are trying to make them or mold them into who they are not. And this may cause some form of resistance or vengeance or some other negative behavior, and this may affect our relationship. And like I said, when children are younger, it may seem like okay, we can get away with this. We begin to see the impact of this when they get to the adolescent years and begin to be like, oh, these people, that's why we call them teenagers. Oh, they're difficult and all of those things. It's because of that child, the natural order of things is that the child is trying to to gain independence and understand who he or she is outside of you, the parent. So if you really want to enjoy the relationship at that time, then the earlier you begin to honor that child's uniqueness, the better for you. So our beliefs about our children will definitely have a great influence on how they also see themselves. Sometimes we use the words like, oh, don't be silly. Oh, you don't need to cry. Why are you just like this? Or can't you just be like this person? You just want them to conform. Or we're like, oh, you're so noisy. Oh, you're such a terrible child, and all of those things. And the reality is that there's so many adults who are still doing or not doing something today as a result of the parents' influence through such seemingly small criticisms that have left lasting impressions on them. So really, we need to honor our children, and part of this is supporting their dreams. So your belief about your child has a great influence on how he or she sees himself. Sometimes, we have expectations, and because we were not able to fulfill those expectations or live those expectations, we want to manifest this we want our children to manifest this in their own life, irrespective of who that child naturally is. And unfortunately, the child may be caught up between trying to please you, fulfill his or own desires. And when these are not compatible, what happens? The sin is set for a strife between you and that child, and that further strains your relationship with the child. So when you help your child in fulfilling his or her dreams, whatever they are, you're teaching him that what he can accomplish, whatever is important to him. And this faith actually helps him to maintain a healthy relationship between you and a positive outlook to life. And unfortunately, we have seen instances of children who have sadly taken their own lives. Why? Because they feel that, they feel out of place in their own families. They're just different, and we make it seem like, oh, because they're not like every other person, they're bad, they're terrible, and and they're not living life feeling fulfilled, feeling like it matters, and that's actually will affect your relationship with them in the long run. And you know, and unfortunately, we have seen a case of many adolescents and even adults who have own dream and are living their lives with less meaning and some level of dullness. Why? Because for instance, they are living it because of fulfilling somebody else's dream. I remember the pharmacist that was on this call yesterday said something like, look, she had practiced pharmacy for 25 years and she felt what else to do. And she went on a journey. So we don't have to wait until our children have spent so many years. We can begin to tap into that from the word go from now. Find out what their interests are. What are those things that, that are their natural tendencies and help them to nurture it so that they can live fully expressing themselves as who they really desire to be. For instance, I personally, I find a lot of energy in connecting with families, giving them solutions to solve their peculiar challenges, and this has taken me virtually to all the continents. However, if I were to stoop with my civil engineering background, I will have been stuck to a remote site solving civil engineering problems, which may not necessarily or does not necessarily give me the same meaning as solving family problems. So you don't want to raise a child to be less than who he has been designed to be as a result of your own short-sightedness or opinions about him. You want that child to fully express, to live life fully, being able to fully express who he is. So for others, parents, if you want that relationship to blossom, it is on us to help them to develop their natural abilities. Find out what their dreams and aspirations are and support them to fulfill it as much as your emotional and material resources permits, and it all begins with our attitude. When we change our attitude, our relationship with our children will be better. One great way to begin to sow this seed is to look at all areas where your child is putting in effort. Okay, let's look at school for instance. Schools have open days, parent conferences, mothers' evenings, there are consents your child does, and all of those things. How available have you been? I have a school here in Abuja, and I remember that at our last open day, there was a particular child that was said to the head teacher that, oh, I know my parents are not going to come. And the head teacher was trying to keep it, give it a positive attitude, like trying to encourage them that, oh, don't worry, I'm sure they're going to come. And at the end of the day, the parents didn't show up, the father didn't show up, the mother didn't show up, they didn't send any representative. And the child said, see, I told you, this is a less than a 10-year-old child already feeling not being honored by his parents and all of those things. So whatever it is, make up time. Ensure that you're present in all areas where your child is putting in effort. Be there to encourage him along the way, recognize his effort, support him, and all. I remember my younger girls when they before they went to secondary school. I just noticed that my youngest girl loved to do all sorts of. It's too low. Oh, okay. Am I still so low? Okay, so I remember my youngest girl. I just noticed from an early age that she could climb stuff and jump down and do all sorts of stunts and all of those things. And then I started looking for how I could help her to nurture this skill in a way that will be safe without discouraging her. So I decided to, oh, great, great. So I decided to nurture her for gymnastics, and
Why Google Map for your page, guys?
she was going twice a week. And on
And
Fridays, I had to
thank
change
God.
where I'm
So
playing on
the ones online your classes.
Friday. Somebody is unmuted.
God have mercy.
Sunny, can you try? Okay.
Yes, yes, please. I'm muting everyone. Sorry. Just a minute.
I had to look for somewhere where I could pray my Juma Friday prayers earlier, so that I could take her to her gymnastics club by 2 p.m. So I'll do my Juma rather than wait till 2 p.m. I'll do it early at 1:30, take her there, drop her there, go back to work, and then, either if I'm able to close early, I'll come back and pick her, or I get her picked and brought to my office. And on Saturdays, I totally dedicated those 2 hours to be there. And really, even when I want, at times that I will be there with the intention of doing something else. But hey, she's going out like, oh mom, I need to help me take my picture, take a video of me when I'm on the beam or something. So I needed to be fully present and appreciate where she was putting her energy. And when you are able to be this present for your children, you get manifold return in good behavior from them. There'll be a somewhere to connect. and you have less of the misbehavior that a lot of parents deal with and oftentimes cause a strain in their relationship. So be careful, parents, to not let the growing years of your child slip by without finding ways to encourage them to honor their uniqueness by every chance that you will get. Okay? Am I still audible?
Yes, yes.
And I remember when we started, someone said that one of the things we wanted from our parents was to feel love. Yes, we need to love our children. And this love, and I want us at this moment to actually reflect on our children and think about it. What exactly do we love about him or her or them? And you can put that in the comment section. So think about any of your children, perhaps the most challenging one, perhaps whichever one you choose. Yeah, so what do you love about your child? Okay, anyone? Think about your children, any of them. What do you think you love about that child? What, reflect on it. The first day ever in your life you set your eyes on that child. What was stunning? What was astonishing? What stood out? Okay, somebody said creativity. And while we're waiting for other people to respond, let me just say that, if you were to take a trip back in your mind's eye to the first time you put your eyes on your child, think about it. What were the expectations you had from that child? What were the things that made you, the love you gave that child? What did it depend on? What did the child have to do to earn you that love? And I have 6 children, and if I were to be honest, I will tell you that at that time, there was nothing. That love was unconditional. It didn't depend on anything. Then how come as the children are growing, we begin to make our love conditional? We begin to make it seem like, oh, unless they fulfill some of our expectations before they can deserve our love, unless they're able to make some achievement, or make our love dependent on some performance or something that she has to do, something that the child has to be, something that the child has to have, you know, or a parent standard to meet or dream to live up to. We must remember the very first time, as we had no expectation. That is the kind of love children need to thrive in. It needs to be unconditional love. And this is very essential in building the connection that is necessary for a lifetime relationship with those children. It is an important tool for them to be self-confident and to love themselves, to love others, as well as the world we live in. So for you to love your child unconditionally, you need to believe in him. Unfortunately, most of us do not believe in our kids. And well, we may say, oh, I believe in this child, theoretically we do. But we need to pay attention to the labels, to the expectations, to our thoughts, to our energy we put on the children, to the things we say to them that has conditioned them and has become their self-talk. I usually hear things like, oh, that one is hyper. Oh, she's so shy. Oh, that one very lazy. Oh. Now these teenagers and the problem. So we begin to give them labels, and these labels actually unconsciously reveal the kind of belief we have about those children. And unfortunately, these titles or labels put these children in a kind of box that is difficult for them to climb out of, and make them to continue in some unproductive behaviors that they may be exhibiting. And it doesn't matter if these labels are positive in outlook. So for instance, if you say, that one, oh, she's so intelligent, she's a genius. On the surface, it may look like there's nothing wrong with it, but guess what? when there's something for the child to try out, and the child, rather than the child to feel challenged and go all out to try this out, it may feel like, this thing is above me. I'm the genius and I don't want to let anybody down, and the child may shy away. So we need to be careful about what labels we give our children, and we want to relate with them with an open mind, and encouraging them all the way so that they can fully live themselves and we can have a better relationship with them. So for your lazy child, how about finding ways to make him cooperative and add value in or and contribute to the family life? So rather give him the responsibility. You may need to chunk it down so that the child is not overwhelmed. And this rather than say, oh, you are lazy, because like I said, the child will have an excuse to continue in that unproductive behavior. And I had experienced this, firsthand. Because growing up, people felt, this one, she's so mischievous. So even when I was really up to no mischief, I needed to live up to that expectation that, she's mischievous. So I may just go, grab somebody's pair of shoes and go and hide. Even in the university, I remember one of my friends that had a car, and those times that cultism and all those things were rampant in universities. And I went and put on my friend's car, take it home, you have been warned and all. And it was in the exams time, and the guy could not just settle down to concentrate. Why? Because people were like, this one is mischievous. So I felt I needed to live up to that title. So let's be very wary of the kind of titles we give our children. And the last thing I want to talk about before I drop the floor is mistakes. Here, that's another place where our relationships are strained with our children. We need to begin to parent from a point where we allow our children to see the mistakes and an opportunity to do better, to choose better, okay? And we need to help them see how they can repair the mistakes. A mistake is not the end of the world. Ask your child, have a conversation. What can you think? What can you do better another time? And the advantage of this is that when you're able to have this kind of conversation with your child, he's able to think for his own solution and through his own solutions, and he will be able to sustain that rather than having to listen to what you're telling him, especially when these children get into their teenage years and above. And again, we hassle them over minor issues. We need to learn to choose our battles. What can we let go? As long as there are no threatening issues about it, we don't have to hassle them over everything. When you begin, even as adults, if in your workplace your guy is always hassling you over everything, or comparing to your colleagues, what happens? You get discouraged and you're like, I beg, I'm just here to do my work. May I just do my own day go and all of those things. But what we're talking about here is relationships that will last a lifetime. And if you want to do this, time will not permit me to share all of the things I see that as a work that will help us in building a lifetime relationship. But with these few things I have said, I'm certain that if we are to take a detour and put this in practice, we will be able to nurture a better relationship with our family. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Surya, for your time. Thank you for these insights that you just shared with us. I think I learned something new when you said even positive labels have ways of affecting the child. It's not just the negative ones, even the positive labels. I know not all of us on this call are parents, but we will be one day, either directly or indirectly. And this is a very timely knowledge. Thank you so much for sharing this. So I'm going to just add Dr. Mukoro to this call. I'm going to be opening the floor up to questions as well. So I have a few questions for the speakers that we've had on this call today in a few minutes. So if you have questions for them, please leave it in the chat so I read it out along with the questions that I have for our guests. If you have questions, leave it in the chat now so I can take it together. For those who joined late, Dr. Mukoro spoke about your job and financial freedom, and he gave us some really, really hot things to consider. You can catch up on the replay on the Facebook group Inside Innocent Minds. If you missed his session earlier today, you can watch the replay. You can watch the replay at the Innocent Minds group. All right, so quickly, Dr. Mukoro, I will start with you. Can you share with us quickly two things? I know that during your story, you mentioned coming in contact with Innocent Minds and how that was a part of your journey. But can you quickly share with us two things that coming in contact with innocent minds, or NLP to be specific, NLP is neuro linguistic programming. What two things stood out for you, or what were the major things that during at the course of this classes made a difference for you going forward, or made a difference for you in creating this life that you are making and you have made for yourself?
Okay, before I came in contact with innocent minds, I told you that at that time my business had crashed. I had hit rock bottom, and I was asking some very deep questions, searching for some answers. And that was actually what led me to Innocent Minds. Now, at this time, I didn't have a mind of my own. I felt empty. I felt I didn't have answers to a lot of things that were going on in my life. So, my journey through NLP, I realized that the, the subconscious is actually 95%, while the conscious is just 5%. So I began a journey of understanding why the things that were happening in my life were actually happening. And I needed to do some certain things to be aware of the things that were happening in my life. And when I discovered this, I now really mastered myself. I was now able to pinpoint where the issues I was having was coming from and how I was able to go into overcome them. Now, having conquered the issue that took me to innocent minds, I saw that I was not alone in the predicament I had that led me to innocent minds. I saw that there were a lot of people out there who were struggling with a lot of issues. So I wasn't just satisfied with just solving my own issues. I decided to go a step further to really master the learnings from innocent minds with a bit of with the aim of helping others discover who they were, discover themselves. Because I realized that a lot of people didn't really know themselves. You ask somebody who he is, he doesn't know who he is. People define themselves with very shallow things around them. So, from genuinely wanting to help people around me discover themselves, I began to get calls to share these stories and deepen knowledge for people. And suddenly I began to see myself even making money from this value I was trying to create. And today I do it as a way of life. People are happy. And I tell people that if I tell people that there are 3 Ds in life. The 3 Ds: desire it. There are a lot of good things in this life, but it starts with your desire. You can desire the good things of life. The good things of life, they are good for life. But you have to start by desiring them. Then when you desire them, know that, tell yourself that you deserve them. You were created in the image and likeness of God. So those that have the good things of life today, they are not the only ones that deserve them. You too deserve the good things of life. You must acknowledge that you deserve these good things. You are not here just to struggle, pay bills, and die and live. Ask yourself, why are you here? Discover purpose and know that you deserve the good things of life. After acknowledging that you deserve the good things of life, then do it. Do whatever it takes for you to get that which you know that you deserve. So it all boils down to discovering who you are. So that was what basically Innocent Mind is for me.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. I can see a lot of people on this call, courtesy of you, which still goes further to say you're in the business of helping others live above average and grow their own lives. All right, next, Engineer Olayinka. Ma'am, can you share with us two basic things? Guys, I want to apologize. It's 8 o'clock and I know our time is up. I will try to keep this in the next 6-7 minutes so that we're out of here. My apologies, we're overshooting our time, right? I'll just take 2 more questions and we're out of here. Yes, ma'am. Can you share with us 2 major things that being a part of NLP? I remember your first NLP class was about 5-6 years ago. Can you share with us 2 major things that stood out for you during this journey, or 2 of the things that made major differences for you? You have to unmute yourself, ma'am. You're muted.
Okay, so I would like to think that there were several things that stood out for me. And one of it is, the concept that whatever we think we are, we're actually more than it. So there is no need to box ourselves and, just allow the society to define who you are or how you have to live your life. You have to be at cause and not at the effects point of life. And this, I think, has helped me to carry forward. And the other thing is, the power of the words and how the things we say can actually affect, the things I think about, how they can affect, the things we say and how that can have an impact on what we do. So it has helped me to be more conscious of what I do in terms of even my writings, in terms of, like I find myself, for instance, writing, I love to write, and then I'll say something in a way and I'm like, okay, so for instance, maybe I'm saying, oh, you must, and like, the word there shouldn't be must, is you need to, So it has
Linguistic.
actually helped, yeah, it has helped me to be better at my communication. And basically, I think for me, these are the 2 things that have stood out for me. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. I will go right back to you before I go back to Dr. John. Now, can you share with us how we can connect with you outside of this platform? You've shared amazing content with us. For the parents on this call who would like to reach out to you, I know you authored a book. How can we get that book? How can we connect with you? How can we work with you outside of this platform? Can you quickly share with us?
Okay, yeah. My website is www.guidedbeginnings.com. You can contact me there or join me on Instagram at Guided Beginnings. And then, yeah, you can also connect with me via my phone number, which is 0803 201 2783. And then we can always have a conversation via WhatsApp and take it up from there.
Okay.
Yes,
All
that's
right.
it.
Please do us a favor. Can you type the website, your Instagram handle, and there was something else shared, how we can get that book? Is it on Amazon? Do we email you to get a copy? How do they get that book? Just help us leave it in the chat session below. All right, back to you, Dr. John. Someone said in the comment session, he says, if Dr. John can still be undergoing training at his level, that means I have not even started at all. Well, I guess. Are we together? Everybody seems frozen from my end. All right, good. So yeah, we're all learning. Learn, unlearn, relearn. Dr. Mukaro, back to you. Can you quickly share with us how we can be a part of what you do? I know that you have an organization, you're a co-founder of an organization. I know that you have a lot of platforms that you're running and contributing. Can you share with us how we can be a part of what you're doing, how we can connect with you outside of this platform? If you have any materials, maybe a blog or a book or articles that we can benefit from, can you share with us how we can connect with you outside of this platform?
Okay. My number is +234 +23480 36779500 +23480 36779500. That's my WhatsApp number. You can also reach me on that. My Facebook name is John Mukoro. Instagram is Dr. John Mukoro. Then I have a Facebook page, Dr. John Mukoro also. Basically, the main thing I do, like I told you in my story, I am into network marketing, and my company is a Malaysian company, uh, Emery Nation Global, a company that came into Nigeria 2 years ago. I partner with them. We have health, organic products. We currently have about 18,000 partners in Nigeria. People are happy. People are making money. You can be part of it, and you connect with me to be part of it. Then I also do trainings. I do peak performance training for organizations, for telecom, for banks, and for oil and gas. But most importantly, I'm a lover of people. I like to connect with people, make friends with people, help people discover who they are. You can connect with me not just only for business. We can learn to. There are things you know I don't know. There are things you know I know you don't know. So I believe in friendship where we synergize and we learn from each other. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. John. Kindly leave the details on the chat. Henry has posted out your number. Thank you, Henry. So you can leave your social media handles as well. I was only able to get the Facebook one so that we can connect with you outside of this platform. Okay, someone had asked a question about how they can be a part of NLP. We have an introduction to NLP coming up in 2 weeks here on Zoom. It's called Push, an introduction to NLP. It's called Push. It's coming up here on Zoom. This is the link, www.innocentminds.com.ng/push. It's entirely free. It's an introduction class. So it gives you some of the contents that are taught during neuro-linguistic programming so that you're able to benefit from it and see how this fits into your life. So if you have been a part of this event, you want to share it with your loved ones, share it to the people in your circle, get them to participate. It's on Zoom and Facebook. It's entirely free. And for those of you who want to skip the introduction part and go straight into the training, you may want to reach me on the number I have put in there. I'll leave my email address as well. Send a message, WhatsApp message, call, get the details for the class you're interested in attending. We have classes in Lagos and Abuja. So give yourself the gift of doing that. Once again, as we come to the end of today's session, I want to take out time to appreciate Dr. Mukoro and Engineer Surura for showing up on this call today. Thank you for making the time out of your busy schedule. We look forward to connecting with you on your individual platforms, being a part of what it is that you do. Thank you for giving to humanity. Thank you for giving out of your abundance to us this night. I hope I didn't skip any question here on the chat. If I did, you want to quickly unmute yourself and say that. I don't think I skipped any questions on the chat. Okay, so if you don't have any question, thank you so much for being on this call tonight, guys. I really appreciate you. Join our Facebook group, Inside Innocent Minds. We have this series every weekend, so you can benefit from past episodes. We've had amazing people come up on this call, so you may want to watch it and see what you stand to gain. Remember, as long as you live, keep learning. The group is called Inside Innocent Minds. Innocent Minds. Just go inside Innocent Minds and apply. I would accept you in right away, and you can catch up on the past episodes. And if you missed the earlier session today as well, you can catch up on the Facebook group. If you have questions regarding NLP, you want to reach me on this number, 6515. My name is Suni. Right? I would look forward to answering your questions. Thank you once again as we go tonight. Thank you for giving me extra 10 minutes of your time. I appreciate each and every one of you. Do have a wonderful evening and a great week ahead. We're back here same time next week, Saturday and Sunday, 7 to 8 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday with another set of resource persons. I look forward to seeing you there. Do have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you, Dr. John. Thank you, Engineer Surura. Thank you for your time. Do have a wonderful evening. All right. Vivian says, thank you, Dr. John. Thank you, Engineer. Thank you, everyone. God bless you. Do have a wonderful evening. Our Facebook guys, thank you for joining in as well. Oh, Julia, thank you for joining in. Let me leave the details on Facebook before I go. Julia, you said I should post it. I'm not sure what to post, but this is the link for push, www.innocentminds.com.ng/push. And this is the contact for NLP inquiries. All right, then. You can unmute yourself and say hi and bye to us before you leave, everyone. Look forward to hearing.
Hello. Thank you so much.
Hi.
It was an exciting session. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Dr. Mukolo. Dr. Engineer, thank you so much. Dr. Mukolo, thank you so much again. Thank you always.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
You.
Hi and bye.
Thank you,
Vera.
Dr. Mukoro. Thank you, Engineer Laika.
Bye.
Hey.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Humphrey. Bye-bye, Vera. Bye-bye, Godia.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mukoro. Thank you, Innocent Minds. I'm grateful for the training.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Dr.
ma'am.
Mukoro and Engineer Laika and Innocent Minds. I really enjoyed this session. Good night, everyone. Yes, this is Vera. Yes, definitely hear from me.
Definitely, I look forward to it. Do have a good evening and a wonderful week ahead.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Hadiza, thank you for being on the call. Ritz, thank you. Onoja, it was nice having you here. Musina, Yusuf, thank you for being on the call as well. Our Facebook guys, bye-bye. Feel free to reach me. I'm unable to leave you comments.